a young lady standing by the DJ booth, and I have never seen her before, and there's only one thing on my mind: I must find out who this is. I go over and I introduce myself, and I try to get her number. She was a little hesitant to give me. I then tried to find out what her plans for the night were. She was a little hesitant to give me. But fortunately, I realized the reason she was by the DJ booth was because her friend was friends with the DJ. So I quickly diverted and executed my plan, adapted to the situation. So I got her number from the friend in front of her. I found out what she was doing from the friend in front of her. And I realized that tonight wasn't going to work. I had my plans and they had their plans. But I made up my mind I had to see this girl again. That was the Tuesday night, the Friday night. It just so happened that I had a barbecue at my house. And fortunately, friends of friends, I was able to invite her over. That became the start of probably one of the best relationships I ever had in my life. And this woman began introducing me to different facets of life that I had no knowledge of before. I personally had never watched any of our pageants, despite having some of the most beautiful women the world has ever seen. You know, we currently have the Miss World. And she was very into pageants, so I was pulled into the pageant world, and I learned a lot more than a lot of people who just watch them, because she actually went on to win a Miss Jamaica World. Not being so supportive of pageants in all, but being very supportive of her, I threw my whole into it, and I did the social media, and I went to the shoots, and I was at the press, and I was at it all, until she had to go to China for the Miss World competition. We had a long discussion about it, and I said, babe, I can't afford China. That is not happening. So she gets on the plane and she's off. She's off to China, and she's going to be there for about 5 weeks. During those 5 weeks, I empty my savings account, I beg and I borrow, and I make up enough money, and I head over to China. Only to realize that despite having made it to China, I still cannot get to see her because of all of the tours and routines that they have her on. So now while in China, I have to devise a plan. How am I going to convince her I'm still in Jamaica? So I actually work out the timing so that when she'll be going to bed, I typically be getting up. So in this situation, I'm going to bed and I'm saying, morning babe, have a great day. I'm getting to work now. And then when she'd be getting up to start her day and I'd be going to bed, oh baby, it was such a long day, you know, we had so much to do in the office. And I managed to keep that up for 2 weeks. Eventually, I work out the tour, I figure out where she's gonna be, and a surprise. I show up and I literally end up shutting down the pageant because apparently none of the other boyfriends were doing any of this ridiculousness. I mean, it reached a point where the pageant director came over to me and said, excuse me, you're gonna have to leave. So I was a bit frustrated, but I understood and I left. She didn't end up winning the Miss World. She placed in the top 6. I was very proud. And then I had the privilege of working with her over the next year of her pageant reign as Miss Jamaica, but also the modeling contracts and all that came with it. After that run, things seemed to be going back to normal. She said, okay, I've lived the dream, I've done the pageant, I've done the modeling. Now I want to do what I feel I was called to do, medicine. So let's do it. I mean, if you could become Miss Jamaica, what is medicine? That's just a couple classes. So she jumps in and she starts doing the medicine. And I just happened to take up the bright idea that, you know what, while you're pursuing medicine, I'm going to start my business. Now, this is where the one lesson I want to share comes in, is that anything with 2 visions eventually leads to division. On October 30th at 4:30 p.m., I get a text message. And the text message reads, I tried to tell you earlier, I couldn't watch you break. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Now, what made this moment that much more significant is I was actually scrolling through engagement rings online at the time. Now, I felt just how you sound a while ago. And that night, I have the privilege of saying I survived a massive intoxication because I felt like something inside of me needed to die. Now I'm a little older and a little wise, and I look back on it and I realize that was definitely love found and it was definitely love lost. But I've also come to realize that it was love realized. Because had I not encouraged her on her journey, she would not have achieved the things she achieved. And had she not encouraged me on my journey, I wouldn't even be speaking to you today. So for those that we've loved and those that have loved us, let us blame them completely for all the good and all the bad.